Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 18th of December 2021 and the time now is 6:16 a.m. Well, today is our reading session and we are going to continue reading the book Eat to Beat Disease. So before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Alright, so here we go.
Autoimmune conditions are increasing in society, while the exact cause is not unknown. The phenomenon has been linked to unhealthy diet. This may also be tied to dysbiosis, gut microbiome, then, then disrupt normal control of the immune.
Other situations with exaggerated immune responses are seen in allergic reactions, such as asthma and food allergies. In severe allergies, the immune system has an overkill reaction to an otherwise harmless allergen, pollen, food, introduced through mucous membrane. The trigger-happy immune system views it as a foreign invader. This leads to the production of antibodies against the allergen and activates T cells to release cytokine. These antibodies and cytokines draw other immune cells to destroy the invader. In an asthmatic reaction, cytokines are released by T cells in the airway, which causes an overkill response with inflammation. Because of this, asthmatics experience wheezing and difficulty moving air out of the lungs. If unchecked, the inflammation can constrict smooth muscles in the airway, which can tighten up and results in death by suffocation if not treated.
As with the body's other defenses as described, the immune system can be strongly influenced by what you eat and drink. Part 2, we will learn about the food that can influence each of the healthy defense systems, angiogenesis to regulation, to the to the microbiome, to DNA repair and immunity.
Conditions related to an aberrant immune system. Diseases that weaken the immune system. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. AIDS. Conditions resulting from a weakened immune system. Or cancers. Conditions with excessive immune response. Allergies. Diseases that weaken the immune system. Alcoholism. Conditions resulting from a weakened immune system. AIDS-related diseases. Conditions with excessive immune response. Asthma. Diseases that weaken the immune system. Ataxia. Telangiectasia. Conditions resulting from a weakened immune system. Conditions with excessive immune response. Celiac disease. Diseases that weaken the immune system. Cardiac-Higashi syndrome.
Conditions resulting from weakened condition with excessive immune response. Crohn's disease, diseases that weaken the immune system. Diabetes, condition with excessive immune response. Graves' disease, diseases that weaken the immune system. Hepatitis B, condition resulting condition with excessive immune response. Hashimoto thyroiditis, diseases that weaken the immune system. Hepatitis B, conditions with excessive immune response. Multiple sclerosis, diseases that weaken the immune system. HPV, human papillomaviruses, conditions with excessive immune response. Psoriasis, diseases that weaken the immune system. Human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, conditions with excessive immune response. Rheumatoid arthritis, diseases that weaken the immune system. Anemia, conditions with excessive immune response. Systemic lupus erythematosus, diseases that weaken the immune system. Malnutrition, conditions with excessive immune response. Systemic sclero- systemic sclerosis, diseases that weaken the immune system. Multiple myeloma, conditions with excessive immune response. Ulcerative colitis, diseases that weaken the immune system. Obesity, conditions with excessive immune response. Type 1 diabetes, diseases that weaken the immune system. Severe combined immunodeficiency disorder.
Immune key players. Innate immune system. Mast cells mediate allergic reactions by releasing histamine. Defend against parasites. Natural killer cells can kill abnormal cells by injecting them with an enzyme that dissolves their outer layer. Distinguish between normal healthy versus infected or cancerous cells. Neutrophils accumulate at sites of tissue injury, form a cluster around the injury and attract macrophage and monocytes to cleanse wounds and clean up cellular debris. Macrophages surround and engulf invading cells to destroy them. Summon, Summoned many types of immune reaction. Then dendritic, dendritic cells recognize and presence antigens of invaders to trigger the T cells response and secret cytokines to draw immune cells to the problem, act as messengers between the innate and adaptive immune systems.
Adaptive immune system. Alpha T cells coordinate immune response by releasing cytokines to recruit other immune cells. Cytotoxic T cells recognize virus infections cells in cancer cells, initiate programmed cell death by releasing toxins to kill undesirable cells. Regulatory T cells track, monitor, and inhibit the activities of our T cells, maintains immune tolerance of healthy cells, arms the immune system to restore normal healthy balance. Memory T cells gather data on invading cells and file it away for future reference, which improves body defense against future infection. Natural, T, natural killer T cells recognize antigens presenting molecules on foreign lipid molecules. Advanced activations that that escalate inflammation. Gamma delta T cells found in the lining of the gut and mucous membrane. B cells produce antibodies that mark invader cells, recognize and present antigens that trigger the T cell response. Some become memory B cells that recall antigens for future antibody production.
Part 2. Eat to beat disease. The evidence for food as medicine. Let food be the let food be Thai medicine and medicine by Thai food. Hippocrates. Each of the 5 health defense systems in your body are intimately connected to your diet. Research is revealing ever more evidence about how the foods we eat can have powerful influences on these symptoms, on these systems that either activate their abilities to keep us in good health or destroy them. In part 2, I will take you on a journey of discovery to learn about the health impact of many foods through the lens of our health defenses.
Research is being conducted on an international scale, so we'll learn about the evidence for food and health being generated by scientists and labs in Europe, Asia, Latin America, and North America. I'm focusing mainly on evidence from human clinical trials and epidemiological studies because what matters is how food influence human health. But I'll also share some exciting laboratory discoveries because they reveal hidden insights that help us to understand what happens when people eat certain foods. Much of this data is normally discussed in the corridors of scientific and medical institutions, but I'm bringing it to your attention because food has immediacy. Once you learn about it, you can act on the information right away. You don't need to wait for permissions or doctors' prescriptions. Some of the findings I'm going to tell you about will surprise you. Some will delight you if you are a gastronaut, but all will change the way you think about and choose your food. Get ready to open your eyes to a new world of food, seen through the prism of your body's health senses.
Chapter 6. Starve your disease, feed your health. Everyone would love to avoid being diagnosed with cancer, heart disease, and other killer conditions. Regular exercise, cutting down on red meat and sugar, and not smoking are all solid approaches to dodging diseases, but they are only part of the solution. Using diet to support and amplify your body's angiogenesis defense system can lower your risk for a whole spectrum of fear diseases.
Soybeans were the first food found to influence angiogenesis. In 1993, a seminal paper was published by Theodore Forsyth, a Greek scientist working at the universities of Heidelberg in Germany, who discovered that the, u- the urines of healthy Japanese men and women eating soy foods contained a natural substance called ginseng with potent anti-cancer effect. In a lab, Forsyth found that genistein suppressed the kind of blood vessel sparked by tumors. Later it was shown that ginseng could directly stop the growth of four different types of cancer cells: neuroblastoma, Ewing sarcoma, rhinomyosarcoma, retinoblastoma. Ginseng is not made by the body, so its source could only be dietary. The urine had been collected from villagers, mostly farmers who cultivated tea and rice. They were vegetarians and ate a soy-based diet, as is common in Asia. The farmers had 30 times more ginseng in their urines than people consuming a Western diet. Forsyth's study was the first report of food containing a dietary factor that is clearly absorbed in the body and excreted in the urine that could inhibit angiogenesis. The research the researchers suggested this property of soy may help explain the lower rate of some lethal cancers in people eating an Asian plant-based diet compared to Western diet.
Another preeminent researcher, Adriana Albini, was working at the National Cancer Research Institute in Genova, Italy, in 2002, when she proposed the term angioprevention. Albany conceived that angioprevention could achieve cancer prevention, especially cancer, by interfering with abnormal angiogenesis using compounds that would be safe and well tolerated by healthy individuals. While some medications do fit this bill, food is the safest way to go. Today, angioprevention refers broadly to a health approach that includes using food, medicines, and dietary supplements. Albini and I, along with other scientific colleagues, co-authored a modern review on angioprevention that include diet in the prestigious journal Nature Reviews Clinical Oncology. This framework on angiogenesis and disease prevention continues to be developed by the Angiogenesis Foundation and a highly committed international community of scientists and clinicians.
The goal of an angiopreventive diet is to keep the body's angiogenesis defense system in a healthy state of balance. This sometimes becomes a point of confusion among Western trained doctors because balance is not typically part of their lexicon for disease treatment. Balance is a more familiar concept in Ayu- Ayurvedic Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine, which the focus is on balance for preventive health. Health is viewed in those systems as the presence of balanced systems in body and mind. A state of balance is where you want to be at all times. The, Go- the Goldilocks zone is a term used by astrobiologists who use powerful telescopes to hunt for planets that are the perfect distance from their suns to support life. Not too close to the sun to burn, not too far away to freeze. The Goldilocks zone for angiogenesis is where there are enough blood vessels to keep every cell in our body well nourished without spreading disease. Not too many, not too few, but just the right amount.
When it comes to preventing disease in healthy people, there's no equal to diet for safety. While some drugs can prevent specific diseases like colon polyps, pharmaceuticals are always associated with potential side effects of some sorts because drugs are never truly about balance. Drugs are created to perform one black and white job, usually knocking something out or building something up. For example, the cancer drug Avastin is useful for treatment but not prevention because it can reduce one of the body's angiogenesis signals to almost zero within a few days after an injection. But by mowing down the signal, which is beneficial for cancer treatment, Avastin can disrupt the normal balance of angiogenesis because that same signal is also needed in small amounts for healthy organ function. This disruption in balance can also lead to side effects, such as slower wound healing, a process that needs normal angiogenesis.
By contrast, dietary factors are not so omnipotent and lack destructive power. Are active in food and beverages absorbed in small amounts, they can help influence the body's own ability to keep angiogenesis in balance. Anti-angiogenic factors in the diet can only push excessive vessels back to baseline level. This means that a food that starves the cancer won't stop the heart from getting its necessary blood supply because it's all about keeping the body in a healthy baseline. On the other side of the equation, angiogenesis stimulating foods also will not cause blood vessels to overgrow their natural boundaries in the circulatory system. For angiogenic, for, angi- for angiogenic foods and beverages, will not put the system into overdrive and provoke cancer, consistent with the principles of homeostasis and angiogenesis. Diet help maintain the body's state of harmony and balance.
Diseases driven by excessive angiogenesis. Recall that angiogenesis is a common denominator of disease. In Chapter 1, I discuss arthritis, blindness, and Alzheimer's disease. Let's look at some other major diseases that could be prevented or made more tolerable by boosting your angiogenesis defense using diet. There's little recognized but important link between angiogenesis and coronary artery disease. The heart is a muscle that needs robust angiogenesis whenever its coronary arteries become clogged by cholesterol-laden plaques. However, these plaques are not just thick layers of sludge that cake themselves onto the walls of a blood vessel. They are actual growths that, like tumors, rely on new blood vessels in order to expand. Coronary, coronary plaque neovascularizations, another term for angiogenesis, is deadly. Not only do these microvessels allow the plaque to thicken and block the coronary artery, but like cracks in the pavement, the vessels also make the plaque more fragile and likely to rupture. When a coronary plaque ruptures, it is as if a tunnel caves in, the ceiling falls, and the tunnel is suddenly blocked. Nothing can get through. When this happens in a coronary artery, blood flow is interrupted and the result is a potentially fatal heart attack. Preventing plaques from developing these dangerous blood vessels is just as important as growing new blood vessels to support the heart muscle itself.
I've already described cancer, but it's worth revisiting because cancer is one of the most feared diseases of all time. Every single type of solid tumor, ranging from breast to prostate to lung to colon, must have angiogenesis to grow beyond a pinpoint size. Without angiogenesis, cancer cells cannot spread. Even so-called liquid tumors, known as hematogenous malignancies like leukemia, lymphoma, and multiple myeloma, depend on angiogenesis. In those conditions, clump of cancer cells in the bone marrow, lymph nodes, or spleen feed off of growing blood vessels that provide survival factors that fuel cancer cell growth.
You can ask your doctor for a testing kit to see if you are at high risk for one of the hereditary cancers. A sample of your saliva or blood can be analyzed to see if your cells carry the mutation that potentially herald, herald the heritable cancers like breast, colon, ovarian, prostate, stomach, melanoma, pancreatic, or uterine cancer. If your test turns out to be positive for a mutation, you should see a genetic counselor to be advised about how to manage your risk. Other than regular visits to check to check to see if cancer is already present, or surgery to remove some organs that are likely to develop cancers, such as breasts and ovaries. There's there's no much there's not much else the medical community can advise you on to lower your risk. Taking actions like exercise, sleep, and stress management are definitely important, but dietary anti-angiogenesis is a critical opportunity that can help you beat the odds of disease.
Up to 90 to 95% of cancers are linked to exposure from the environment and our lifestyle. Of all cancer deaths, an estimated 30% are linked to diet. Most cancer researchers and cancer activists point to harmful dietary factors that should be avoided to lower cancer risk. But the work of the Angiogenesis Foundation focuses on a completely different opportunity, using food, beverages, and natural ingredients that can be added to your diet to reduce your risk of cancer. As with cardiovascular disease, there's plenty of information about foods to avoid. Foundation has also been doing the research and analyzing data on foods that can grow life-giving blood vessels to promote healing.
Here's the best part. Some of the tastiest foods in the world can keep angiogenesis in balance. Now, let's look at the foods and the evidence supporting their benefit. Foods. Food lovers take heart. You'll find plenty of items that will surprise and delight you. Anti-angiogenic foods.
Mr. King, how about
Yeah.
we stop at here?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so make a summary.
All right. So, firstly, it is about the autoimmune conditions, which is something like last time we stopped in the middle, and today we continue. And for autoimmune conditions, basically, it is something like your immune reaction to your own DNA and can cause inflammation. So this is a bad thing. And Uh, yeah, actually, there is something related to microbiome, which is our gut microbiome, and it is something like there is an imbalance between the gut microbiomes, and also these affect our immune system. And some examples such as asthma. Yeah, this is because excessive immune response. Yeah, and then also the other example like food allergies. Yeah, this is because also because of excessive immune response to specific foods. Yeah, and then after that, it is about some diseases that can weaken the immune system. Yeah, and also yeah. So for here, I try to write down some diseases that can weaken our immune system, which is the more common one. For example, AIDS, alcoholism, diabetes, obesity, yeah, and a few others. Yeah, and then of course, if they weaken the our immune system, we exposed to higher risk of getting cancers. Yeah, and on the other side, it also talk about some excessive immune response. Yeah, just now I also already mentioned allergies, asthma, and there are a few others. For example, celiac disease. Yeah, which is the one that some people maybe they are unable to tolerate gluten. Yeah, and also some other diseases like psoriasis, which is a kind of skin disease. and also diseases like colitis and etc. And after that, it also go back to kind of like a summary of our previous reading session. And then I think there's one thing to be mentioned is our immune system can be broken into two parts, which is the innate one. Basically, is consists of macrophages and natural killer cells and a few others. And the other side, it is the adaptive immune system. Yeah, this is the second category, which is consisting of T cells and B cells. And next, we finally came across part two, yeah, which is about the foods. Yeah, and actually, I'm quite happy to finally read this part. And for here, it's basically focus on foods as a medicine, and with the purposes of firstly to help to cure some diseases, and second is I think to prevent getting some diseases or cancer. And one of the benefits of using foods as a medicine is because of its immediacy. Yeah, for this one, basically it means that we can just buy something and then maybe we cook the foods and or maybe we eat directly. In that case, we don't have to see a doctor and then get some medicine. We don't need those doctor's prescription. Yeah, and the other benefit is that food is different from some medicine because most of the medicine they actually kind of like black and white treatments. Yeah, they just cure a particular disease, but sometimes they actually sacrifice our uh, uh, other things in our body. Let's say maybe you want to cure your headache, but actually you are doing something harmful to your body. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but for foods, basically it actually helps to achieve the balance of uh, uh, I think is maybe either is the immune system or maybe angiogenesis or maybe others in our body. So mostly it won't go to the harmful direction. Mostly they will just uh, help us to fix our body, let's say to fix the angiogenesis to a balanced state. Yeah, so this is something good and some medicine may not be achieved. Yeah, um, yeah, I think these are my sharing today for the
Yeah,
summary.
and I want to make a summary for the part two. And for the part two, the author mentioned about some reasons that food is better than the medicines. Uh, One of the most critical reasons is because medicine can only cure a specific symptoms, so cure a specific disease. And but so far we read the five defense system,
Mm,
and each of them has their kind of like the opposites. For example, angiogenesis. If you have the too low amount of angiogenesis, you will have problem. If you have excessive angiogenesis, you also will have other problems. For example,
mm,
uh, the growing blood vessel in your eyes, so will cause the blindness, cause the
mm,
vision loss. Yeah, and about the stem cell, if you have too much uh, good stem cell, this is good for your body, but we also have some other harmful stem cell in our body. Uh, and also like the immunity. If your immunity is too weak, uh, you kind of like maybe you'll get some kind of like the AIDS or HIV infected by HIV, so your body lose the ability to immune itself. So you lose the immunity, kind of like immunity deficiency or immunity disorder. Yeah, so it is the if you lose your immunity, you have some problem. But if you have too strong immunities, you also will have some problem. Yeah, the body reacts to too excessive. Yeah, so have like the excessive response. Yeah, so you have some problem. For example, the asthma or uh, uh, some other symptoms or disease you mentioned just now. Yeah. So, uh, that means medicine can only cure and try to fix the one direction. But how about the opposite direction? If the medicines, uh, the quantity of the medicine, the quantity of the drug is too large, and then it will cause the opposite. Yeah. So you will get another disease. But how about food? Food have uh, food has the can uh a food can help you solve both of the problem because foods will not cause excessive uh, kind of like excessive angiogenesis or excessive immunity response to your body. Food will automatically balance. Maybe it's not the food balance, but it's your body. Your body will balance it. Yeah. So uh, if the maybe the nutrition is kind of like intake from food, it's come from foods, and your body have the mechanism to auto balance and then the to allocate the nutrition to the healthy cells and instead of to the harmful cell. Yeah. Yeah. So this is my summary.
Yeah, and I think also needed to be mentioned that those food is some specific one, not those. Not all foods can have the good, the positive effects for our body, right? And also yeah, for some foods that we will come across maybe in next reading session, I found that the two kind of food that I came across is not expensive. Yeah, so it's the food which is quite common. Yeah, at least in my country. Yeah, so I think maybe one more benefit is it is not costly.
Yeah. Uh, one more thing is since you talk about the foods, and we also have read the soil in this reading section, and in next reading section we also came across some anti androgenic androgenic foods. So yeah, so some food can boost your androgenesis, some food can boost your anti-androgenic. Uh, yeah, and you found very interesting because the same food can do this, can do the function. At the same time, boost your androgenesis. At the same time, it can also like boost the anti-androgenic your cell in your body. Then the food, I think you came across is a soy, right? Soy and tomato.
Tomato, yeah.
And soy can boost your angiogenesis, and then in next reading section we also will came across soy can also boost your and it's also uh the first anti-angiogenic foods we'll came across in next reading section.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they will automatically do the balancing job, right? They won't cause us to maybe excessive angiogenesis or the deficit angiogenesis.
Yeah. But for me, I couldn't eat too much soy. Yeah, and in my family, we don't have a habit or culture to eat a soy directly. yeah, of course we eat tofu. We use soy sauce. We
Mm.
use uh uh we eat some other foods, but
Mm.
in our family we seldom take dairy.
Mm.
And some dairy, for example, the soy milk, is also made from soy.
Mm.
Mm. And yeah, and also some of the uh, some of uh, I'm not sure how it's called, but mm, yeah, yeah. For example, mm, okay, soy. We have many foods. For example, tofu and
Mm.
natto. For example, like the
Miso.
one, yeah, miso, and yeah, and also some fermented foods.
Mm.
And we eat tofu, and we use soy sauce.
Mm.
And but beside of this, it seems that we didn't like intake a lot of soy. Yeah,
Mm.
and my mother and I used to drink the milk, soy
Mm.
powder milk. But after uh, I'm not sure what she feel. But I I don't feel very very good after I drink the soy milk, uh, soy protein or soy powder
Mm.
milk. Yeah, I mean, this is compared with the whey protein, which is the proteins powder. Uh, no, normally for the uh, for the for the people who want to gain muscle, and then they drink after the workout. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, this is a comparison. So what is uncomfortable is it's not huge, but is some kind of like you will feel like the digestions in your stomach.
Mm. Mm.
Mm. You have the sound, you have all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't uh we don't have kind of like the soy uh meal. Yeah, intake the soy directly. Mm.
Mm.
Do your family eat soy directly?
For the symptom that you mentioned just now, like maybe after drinking the soy milk and you feel a little uncomfortable or abnormal digestion. Yeah. Also, I and my family have a few this kind of a feeling after drinking soy milk.
How uh I'm fine with tofu. Yeah, I think I'm fine with tofu. And
Mm.
one another food uh mm, I ate in my childhood, and maybe after one or two times we have never eat the foods anymore. And
Oh.
because maybe uh it's expensive, or maybe I don't like. I
Mm.
this is the soybean sprout. Yeah, and soybean sprout is um the head of a sprout is very very big and yellow
Mm.
color. Not
Oh.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not sure you have ate, ate this before.
Mm. Yeah. Actually, I like this.
Mm, yeah.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, then that's good.
Yeah.
And
Maybe you can try
uh
to grow it.
yeah, I can grow it. I mean, for normal bean sprout, uh I'm okay. But yeah, but this is a long time ago. Mm, and and I didn't try after I grew up. Yeah,
Mm.
so maybe maybe the feeling will change. I'm not sure.
Oh, you mean you kind of like didn't feel comfortable after eating this food?
Yeah, the
Oh,
soybean sprout. Mm,
oh, I
yeah,
see.
quite. The uncomfortable is actually more than after drinking the soy milk. Yeah.
Mm,
So that after that I kind of like avoid my kind of like my body uh, teach me to avoid this food. When I see
mm,
the yellow and big head sprout, I just don't eat them.
mm,
The taste is not good uh, for me in when I'm a child, and also the feeling after uh, eat them is also not good. Mm.
mm.
I will feel kind of like uh what is it called? Is it the ear or something? Uh, it's called a nausea, a nausea which is thing.
Oh, mm.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have anything want to add in?
Maybe a little bit more about soy milk. Yeah, because I also read a book which is a book actually talk about the TCM, the traditional Chinese medicine. And one of the things that mentions in the book is the soybean actually. I mean the soy milk. Yeah, and because some people they can make the soy milk by their own using the soybean right at home. And
Mm,
then they also say that some people they feel uncomfortable at their stomach after drinking the soy milk. And the book said maybe you can try uh, to overcook your soy milk after it boils, and then just let it boil for let's say 10 more minutes or 15 more minutes, because the soy milk they actually didn't reach 100 degrees when they boils. Yeah, they are not just the pure water, and so just like let it cook for longer hours, and this may help to reduce the some uncomforts for people who feel uncomfortable after drinking soy milk.
mm.
Yeah,
But
and mm,
the soy milk powder we use is actually uh kind of like a boat from either organic uh store, which is the product is commercialized.
mm,
So I don't think they undercook the soy
yeah,
because they make it become a powder already.
mm, yes, you're right. And maybe you read do you need the hot water? I mean those boil water to
Uh,
cook the powder, or just warm water is okay.
Normally we put in the cold water first because if you directly use the hot water and the powder will stick together,
Oh,
become a kind of like the ground. And so we use cold water and then we stir it
mm,
and we stir it and then after that uh after that uh we put the hot water,
mm,
maybe the boiled water or maybe the hot water at a
yeah,
very high temperature and then we stir it. Mm.
mm, yeah, yeah, and also the way that I mentioned, I also haven't tried, and yeah, maybe if sometimes I have time I can make it because I have uh the the equipment to cook the soybean into soy milk.
Mm.
Yeah, and also be aware of, I think just now your soybean powder I think is okay because you say it is bought from organic shops. And for some others, soy milk, maybe those cheaper one from supermarket, I think maybe they are not so pure, and maybe their nutrition or their benefits is questionable.
Mm, you see, normally you would think the opposite, right? Because when the product is kind of like highly commercialized,
Mm.
highly highly processed, become a powder, and we'll think the nutrition is lesser, is it?
Um, yeah, because it is organic. I think actually I'm comparing to those packet drinks, packaged one.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, and
yeah,
let's say
right.
from yours, and then you can get at a very cheap price, right?
Mm,
Like a big package, and then maybe just cost you a few ringgit.
uh, not very cheap, I would say. Yeah, that kind of like at that time it's not like 500 gram is less than $10. Sorry, less than 10 ringgit.
But compared to the powder, isn't that the powder is expensive?
Yeah, it means I'm buying the powder, 500 gram, around 10 ringgit.
Oh, I
Organic,
see.
the organic soy milk powder.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so that's all for today's conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think about conversations. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we make, please also comment to let us know. Because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.